who went through it and still have our days.
Mostly her.
Mostly him. He went through it. So, I would say our credentials consist of me standing by a man through 11 rehabs. And that's 11 rehabs with me. That does not include the rehabs that he went through with his mother and father and sisters and brothers. That does not include the jail stints or the prison time. I'm just saying rehabs. The other stuff came in between, but it was all there. Did I use any substances? No. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. Nope. So you would think I had all the problem in our relationship was all him. So part of that's true, because that was the problems that people could see. I was the flip side. I was your wife, I was your sister, I was your girlfriend, I was your daughter, I was your mom, I was your aunt. I was that good friend that cared about you and wanted you to get it right. Right? So a lot of times that's what people see. So I can relate to those people. But I want to share something with you. Those people have problems too.
Yeah.
A lot of times they can see the other type of problems, but you can't see theirs, right? So the good thing about those people is that they love you and they want you to make it. The bad part sometimes is when you come home, all the focus is always on you, that people like me forget we got problems too. So I want you to know that there's no shame, no anything. I had problems, he had problems, but I still wanted you to make it.
Right.
Right?
Right. All right.
So I'm gonna stop talking and turn it over quickly so the guy that had the most problems can introduce you.
Oh man. Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, I want to give my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ all the glory for allowing me to be here with you guys today. Also, I want to give honor to y'all leader, because what a lot of individuals don't know, I'm going to give you a brief story. When in 2000, for 22 years of my life, I struggled with crack cocaine and I struggled with heroin. And for the last 15 years, I have been delivered from all of it. To God be the glory. So what I want y'all to know is, in August 2009, I found myself sitting on a bench and I was suicidal. I was addicted to crack cocaine and heroin. I had completely given up on life. I had tried multiple rehabilitation centers. I tried all of them. I tried switching drugs. I tried everything. I tried to switch cities. I tried everything.
Switch women.
I tried switching. I switched women, but watch this. So when I found myself in Bristol that day in 2009, I didn't have a personal relationship with God as I knew him. I knew the name God. I knew Jesus. I knew of what others said about him, right? So I sat there that day, and at that time, something told me, I didn't know what that was. Something told me to go to the Salvation Army to go see Major Pierce. And it was another friend called Pastor Russell. They was at the Salvation Army. I went down to the Salvation Army, and my wife always wanted me to add this, and I had the crack pipe in my pocket.
Tell the truth.
I had the crack pipe, so I'm really not focused, right? So I went down there, and again, I can't tell you that God told me this. I just felt something in me to say, go to the Salvation Army, go ask them for money to go to rehab, okay? Right? Now, you gotta remember, I got the crack in my pocket, the pipe in my pocket, and I'm going down here to ask for $20. You see how you laugh? You know how crazy that sounds? So I went in there and I asked them for $20, right? I asked her husband and Pastor Russell for $20 to go to detox, right? They said, wait a minute, let us go in here in the office and we're going to go pray. Okay. They came back, to my surprise, and said, God told us to give it to you. Whoa, wow. Watch this. It was the last day I ever touched a drug. Somebody say one more time. Say one more time.
One more time.
The reason why I want you to understand one more time is because that one time could possibly be your life this time. That one, I tried over and over and over again. But that one last time was the exact one that I needed to do. And since that day, I can't believe this, I'm now a certified drug and alcohol counselor. I'm a 10-time published author, and me and my wife get to go around the world and teach our program called Minor Adjustment. Everybody say Minor Adjustment.
Minor adjustment.
Say Minor Adjustment.
Minor.
So all this weekend, we're going to literally use everything we have. We're going to use what God poured into our lives. We're going to give you some things. You might not want to receive it. We just going, and our job is to just give you what God gave you, and it's your job to apply it. So we're going to pour out, we're going to come up with some of the stuff we're going to say. You're going to think your leaders told us about something with you, but it ain't them, it's God.
Yes, sir.
But we're going to say stuff that try to push you and help edify you, and at the same time, move you into your proper destination.
All right. We're in the Salvation Army, but I don't want to assume everybody believes in God. I know who you are. But that doesn't mean everybody believes. Sometimes we can hide in the crowd, right? And I know going to plenty of meetings with this guy, and I would go to the meetings, the NA meetings, I would go just so he wouldn't walk out the door.
Yeah.
So I would sit in there and spy. We'll support it. It was like, you better not move.
Right.
But that wasn't going to do it. It was all on him. He could have sat there all day long, and I was comfortable because he sat there. But if he wasn't applying or listening, or he was in his head thinking about where he can go get his next hit or how he can get a hold of my pocketbook,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So I know in those rooms from going that you're allowed to believe the God in your understanding what that is.
And we always say that.
And I'm not going to try to change your mind.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is, whatever God you believe in, make sure it has evidence that it works.
Yeah.
We stand here in the Salvation Army, professing salvation to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and we are evidence that He works. That's all we're going to show you.
It's your
Is
choice.
that He works. Believe what you want, but this is proof. Amen.
So the program that my wife and I run is called Minor Adjustment. Everybody say Minor Adjustment. All right, everybody please turn to page 5. We're going to walk through a few of these lessons tonight, and then we're going to jump in on Saturday. We're going to dive right into it, and then we'll go close it out on Sunday. Amen?
Amen.
All right. So page 5. Everybody there?
Yes, sir.
It says minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men and women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary for their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But backwards.
But backwards.
Say anywhere. But backwards. Now listen to me. If you don't get anything from this weekend, I know you can remember 3 words. Because a lot of times we actually make this thing harder than it really is. If you just lock on anywhere but backwards. I was telling the gentleman yesterday, I said, man, I locked on 3 words. No matter what come your way this way, you have to be convinced that you can't go that way. Right. So if you leave here and you find it hard to get a job, you just have to find it hard getting a job. You can't go that way. Everybody say anywhere. But backwards. So in that mission statement, there's 2 words and they're very big. Anybody call them out? Say it again, everybody. Okay, everybody say to attain my sobriety is easy. My challenge is to maintain it. Say to attain my sobriety is easy.
To obtain my sobriety is easy.
My challenge is to maintain it. The reason why I say that is because when to obtain means to come into the possession of something. At this point, you already have your sobriety. You don't have to wait till next year to go get it. Since you already have it, the only thing you have to do is, come on, y'all, come on, you got it. I'm not going to tell y'all anything you don't know. The only thing that the minor adjustments program is built on by the foundation of God is teach you how to apply what I know you know. I know you know. You only have one problem. You don't know how to apply what you know.
Right.
So our program is trying to push you into that place of, I know you know it. My client sat in my office one day and he said, Mike, man, I know all that recovery stuff. I said, yeah, but you're urine dirty. So you know all that recovery stuff, so why is your urine dirty? I know you know it. You don't know how to apply it. Somebody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But backwards.
Right.
So when you obtain your sobriety, you have it. Everybody say, I have it.
I have it.
Say, I have it.
I have it.
So now to maintain this program and other things that you already know, you need to find out what do you need to do to maintain what I have obtained. Me, my personal spiritual foundation is what I use to maintain it. As long as I stand on my foundation, I'm not going back. It's when I leave my foundation that people go back.
Right.
So you got to understand, I'm not smarter than you. God is not a respecter of person. I'm only here to show you that it's possible. Somebody say it's possible.
It's possible.
So let's look at we're going to look at page purpose. I think it's on 21. So y'all homework for tonight, because we're only going to do 2 chapters tonight, but it's a story in there in the beginning. What page is the story on? Huh? Look, oh, he already, see, I like that. There you go. I told y'all the smart people come up front. I told you. So these stories before, we're going to work from page 21. But up into 21, y'all got to read. Y'all got it? So when y'all because you're going to read about my life, and I'm not going to be able to give y'all everything, but it's in the book. Y'all read about some of this stuff. Y'all read about when I was in prison. Y'all can read about when the newspaper wrote articles about me. I want you to read that because I want you to see, I'm not telling you something that I just guessed.
Right.
I want you to see and see yourself. So today we're going to talk about purpose. Go ahead, Emma.
In order for you to begin the process of allowing your past to push you into your destiny, you must first know that you still have a purpose.
Everybody say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
Say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
You have a purpose for living despite all the bad choices and situations and negative things that you have done in your past. As of this moment, it's all past.
It's all bad.
So many people want their lives to have meaning. They want to do the right thing, but are often unsure what that is or what it entails. Remember, you and I were created to do something extraordinary. You have a purpose.
Everybody say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
So each time we do a group, we want to have an expectation for that particular lesson, right? I'm basically talking to you because in our vision, in our program, we want you to eventually become facilitated for the minor adjustment program. And wherever county you go to or wherever you live, you'll be able to build up your community instead of tearing it down.
Right.
You helping, because some people I won't reach because they don't know me, but you can reach them because they know you.
Right.
So when you come back to your community with something totally new, what is this minor adjustment stuff? And you living it? Somebody say you got the power.
You got the power.
So every group we have an expectation. Our expectation for this particular group is everybody will get down to the core. Everybody say the core. The reason why I say that is because inside every apple, there's something greater in the apple. But if you take the skin of the apple, you bury the skin outside in some good soil, you won't produce the greatness that's in the apple. If you peel that apple, cut the pieces you can eat, take that outside, bury it, you still won't produce the greatness that's in the apple. But if you peel that apple, cut through that apple, you'll come across the part of the apple that's called the core. When you break through the core, you get to the seed. That's your life. In order for you to maximize the purpose you have to first break through the core of why you keep doing what you're doing. If you never get down to the core of why am I putting something in my body that I know I'm taking a chance of it killing me?
Exactly.
You're not really ready to die. So you got to get down to the core of why am I doing that? It's not benefiting me. It's hurting my family. My kids don't want to deal with me. I'm losing all the money I saved. Everybody say I got to get down to the core. When I first initially realized, when I first started using, we did it recreational, we did it as fun. We was kids. We was trying it to be, you know. Then eventually I got addicted to it. And then eventually I realized that I was an insecure man. That's tough for a man to say. I know, yeah, I know. I was an insecure man because when I wasn't under any influence, I like to be around girls and all that, but I didn't want to talk to them. But when I got that thing up in me, yeah, he did. He was like that. He was like that. he know when I got what I like in me. And that's I battled it when I look. But check this out. I was insecure. Watch this. And so I would constantly do it, even though I had the addiction, the habit, I needed it. Most of it was I want to talk to these girls. So I said I gotta use so I can feel comfortable. But watch this. I was insecure because I used to have a chipped tooth, and when I talk, I used to be like, I'm insecure about my mouth, like, you know. So then I met my wife one day, and she was at the desk, and I came over there, and I'm like, yo, what's up, shorty? You know, I'm trying to talk to her. I'm trying to talk to her. But she said the greatest thing that I never heard. I was talking like this, and she said, take your hand down, you have a beautiful smile. Oh, there you go. And I married her. I ain't had to work. Hallelujah. I no longer had to worry about, oh, you like it? Oh, that's who I'm staying with. So you see how I didn't need the substance. I just needed to find out something that would help me with my insecurity. But I'm telling you, everybody say the core. You have to find out what I'm telling you, you're not just doing it. You're not just doing something that's hurting you. But if you never break through that core, why am I doing this? Because if you're like me, this is not your first rehabilitation center, first program. I'm 50-something years old. I lost count how many I went to. But this is it. Since it's all men in here that I'm talking to, listen to me. You have to get to yourself. This is the last time here, Lord. This is your last time ever having to do this again. Right. Amen. I'm speaking that into your life. You got to believe it. This is your last time. The only way you're going to come back here, either you work here or to encourage the people who are here who was just like you. But you got to believe that you can do it. Everybody say anywhere. Anywhere. But back.
I hear something, I just want to say it. My husband made a statement about, you get to this place when you just feel like you want to die. I just want to die. So I hear something and listen. People don't just want to die. They're just afraid to live.
Exactly.
So if the enemy playing your head like that, to this weekend, you will no longer be afraid to live.
Amen.
You do have a purpose. So the word purpose means to set as an aim, intention, or goal for oneself. Purpose is the reason for which something exists.
Yeah.
Now, knowing that the God we serve does not make mistakes, right? And that the God we serve can make anything he wants. If you look at the fact that when he made you, he only made one you. Nobody else has your fingerprints. People can resemble you, they can kind of sound like you, but when it comes to that DNA, it's only one you. So if something was wrong with you, he would have made another one. There's a reason there's only one you. It's because when he created you, he said, you're good. You were perfect that first time. Think about that. Who are you? These are some of the questions that are in your book.
And that's why y'all got the pen and stuff. Normally, if I got my own notes in my book. Mine says, normally other people tend to see your true potential before you see it. Normally, other people will see, because all of us can think of somebody in our family, loved ones, friends, somebody in the neighborhood that told you, like, you can be doing better than this, or, they're not speaking because they don't believe it. They're speaking because normally other people can see your potential before you can. even me, when I was incarcerated or in programs, I used to always write my wife. I used to write letters, because I was scared. We was listening to a guy crying on the phone. He was thinking about his wife leaving. But anyway, so I would write it, but she used to always tell me, and my mom and them used to always tell me, yo, you write so much, you could write books.
Yeah.
That's something somebody seen before I seen, right? Now, today, up to this day, I got 10 books published. But I started from writing when I was in jail. But I never saw the potential to write books. They said, you know what you can do? Instead of writing all these letters, you can write a book. But I'm saying that because when it says, who are you? You probably have to everybody say, get down to the core.
Yeah.
Today, for this weekend, or whenever we're gone, find time. Whenever you have downtime, it's not wasting time. Sit by yourself if you have to. And get down to the core of some things, because some of us have things that we used to enjoy, and because of the issue with the substance or the alcohol, it like took the joy of it, even though you still enjoy it. Like you don't have the same joy with it. But those things you can still do. They can still come back. It's not that they're gone, but you got to get down to the core of this.
So who are you? And if I was to ask you who you are, you would tell me your name. You would tell me maybe something about your parents. You would tell me what you like. You know, tell me about your children. Tell me what kind of job you do or had or type of work. But that's not who you are. That is not who you are. My mother gave me a name. And that's a name. But that's not who I am. So I grew up and I was in my late 30s before I started figuring out who am I? Who did God create me to be? What is this thing? And there were some things that I like doing, that I enjoy doing like he did, but life happened. So now I'm not doing those things so much because I gave up. I'm like, oh, what's the big deal? What's it? You know? Because world or life will give you a name, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
When my husband did drugs, he was crackhead, he was dopehead, he was all that, but that's not who he was.
Absolutely.
I'll give you an example. My favorite color is green.
She don't look green.
If we were what we like to do, or like or enjoy, right, or desire, if that was the case, I would be green. Because I love green. It's beautiful. Any shade of green. I don't have a particular one. I'm not green. I love your eyes. I love green. But I'm not green. You know why? Because what I like is not who I am. So when you do these things and they call you a thief, they call you a liar, they call that, you know what we start doing? We start believing those things. Yeah. Don't believe it, it's a lie. Might be what you do, might be what you like, but it's not who you are. And the only way you can find out who you are is to spend time with God and get to the core. He'll tell you.
He'll tell you everything.
He'll tell you. He'll speak. Don't be expecting it to be like this. It could come. You could be reading a book one day and it click. You get something to come on a commercial and it click. But you got to spend that time with them. Okay? What's your purpose? Oh, you have a question? Sorry, Michael.
On the Son of God. Right?
Yeah.
Amen. Amen. What's your purpose?
Make a better life for myself.
But what were you, your purpose is nothing. What were you created for? Let me tell you something about purpose. I love doing this demonstration. Can you get that chair for me, babe? That stool? She always has the stool here.
Yeah. I was about to graduate earlier.
So, at one point in time, people got tired of sitting on the ground, sitting on rocks, sitting on grass, right?
Yes.
So somebody designed chairs and stools and sofas and couches. But, let me tell you this is how we do. You have a purpose. They designed it for a purpose. The purpose was to elevate them so they could sit down and rest their feet and not sit on the ground, correct?
Yes.
We all in agreement on that?
Yes.
All right. If you come to my house, right, and I'm sitting on my porch, I might have this in front of me and have a plate on it. So now it's a what?
Table.
Because I'm eating on it, right? Yeah. And I'm kind of short, and sometimes he's not available, and I got to get stuff off the shelf. So I start stepping on it to get to the top. So now it's a what?
Stove.
A ladder.
Ladder.
Sometimes it's small enough I can put it in the corner and I can put a drink on it, but not that, or a plant. I put a plant on there, so now it's a plant stand, right? So now I'm gonna share one of my issues that I had. If you got on my last nerve, I'm being honest, if you got on my nerve, you could get hit with one of these. So it becomes a, now I done told you all these things that I use this spoon for.
Yeah.
So it's done been a ladder, a table, a plant stand, a weapon, a step stool. But did it change what it was created for? Did it? It's still a stool, and the stool is for sitting. That's what we do with our lives. We have a purpose. We were created for a specific thing, but we use it doing everything else except for what it was created for.
Right.
But what it was created for does not change. That makes sense?
And that's what we do with our lives. We were created for a purpose, but we're doing everything else but instead of what we were created for. No matter what, it's not going to change. Now we might let it lie dormant, right? But he never takes it from you.
Or you might break a leg off of it, and now you got a three-legged stool. It's still a stool.
Are you aiming for anything of importance? Always have an aim. You gotta have an aim. You gotta have a target. We always aim to provoke people to change. We don't actually change people. God does all that work. But we want to provoke people to have, to see someone that's just like or was in the same situation. Some of my friends still text me to this day and they say, man, you eliminated us from having excuses. Because we used to have all these reasons why we couldn't do better. It's the white man, or I only had my mom, or get out of here. All that stuff is just excuses. Right. So some of my friends have said, you eliminate us from having excuses because we were all in the same group. Right. If I allow God to help me change my life, don't tell me you can't. Exactly. Don't, so it's no difference, no more excuses. What's your intentions?
Yeah, that's a good one.
What's your intentions?
Why are you here? Is it because it's wintertime and you need a place to stay warm, get some food? You can do that sometimes.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time.
You go to rescue mission. You run around all day long.
I go to treatment every winter. I'm out of here. Summertime, I'm good. I can sleep outside. Wintertime, I'm going to treatment. That's where I used to go.
What's your intention? Do you have a goal?
Yeah.
Don't sit here and don't have a goal. Start with something small.
Yeah. All these questions, purpose is the master of motivation and it's the mother of commitment. So when you have a goal for something, literally this program, the program we're doing, we started, it was just like what God had gave us to do. But you have to be committed to something. Like, you know what I mean? Whatever your goal is, once you write, I started by writing it down on paper. I've been writing it down on paper. Salvation's been so good to me. Oh, she ain't telling me when we got married at.
It's the next question.
Oh, it is weird.
Well, it's going to come up in the next question.
Yeah. It just came to me. I got married in the Salvation Army, for real.
That's how much you like to hear.
We eventually had a wedding like last year, 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years ago we finally had
like
the ceremony. We kept going to the Salvation Army.
Not this one, but no.
Delaware, Trenton, you name it.
I got married at the Salvation Army where I told y'all, there you go, there go my big friend right here. That's right there. Remember I told y'all? Yeah, I'm telling you, I ain't telling you no truth. That was the last day, but that's the same place where everything took off for us. Yes.
This question.
Which one?
The question was, do you have a goal, right? Where do you have to go?
Yeah.
And what do you have to do for your purpose or goal to be reached? And I said it comes in the next question is because Minor Adjustments was birthed in the Salvation Army in Delaware. Okay. In Delaware, he started writing this stuff down and sending it to me. Just sending me. He was like, hold this for me, hold this for me. I definitely didn't know at the time that it was going to be a program. But whatever he was learning, whatever God was downloading into him and teaching him and showing him about himself, he would write it, make flyers and copy them and then send them home to me and say, hold this. So it started in the Salvation Army. It wasn't called Minor Adjustments at the time, it was called Mighty Men and Women of God.
Yeah.
Because the idea was to always include everyone. Right? Because minor adjustments isn't just for people that are, struggling with addiction like drugs and alcohol or gambling.
Anything.
It's for everybody. I had to do this. Like I had.
She still needs to do
Don't listen to him. I had anger issues, things that happened to me.
it. Everybody needs to make minor adjustments. I wasn't getting high nothing in my life till I met her.
Oh. Forgive him, Lord.
Now my wife didn't even know I was using drugs. She just knew something was different about me.
Yeah, I knew something was wrong.
It's like something's wrong with this guy.
And then now he meets me, right? And I don't know his issue.
That's right. She didn't know.
And now I start finding out his issue. But check it out. He didn't know my issue either.
Yeah.
So now I find out he on drugs. And guess what I want to do with my anger issues?
She
Beat it out of him.
yeah, she was crazy. Yo, but but to God be glory. That's why we share. People always say, why y'all share all that stuff? Because we want people to know that you got to get through difficulty. You know what I mean? Some difficulty is not just one person. If you're in a relationship, it's on both sides. You have difficulties that you have to sacrifice because both people got issues and both people are going through. Some of y'all loved ones out there now. Some of y'all are supposed to. I ain't telling y'all have to do it. Just sometimes, whenever if you're still in touch with them, just call them and say, you know what? I was wrong. I'm sorry. Because sometimes we don't understand the other person's side, and we worried about what we going through, and we just need to just say, you know what? This weekend I found out we both have to. It's not just me, but we both have issues. Because my wife's complaint was always when I would go away to get help for my issue, nobody helped her with what she went through. So it was like coming home, like, okay, what about me?
And then when he would come home, I couldn't talk to him about what he did before he went in because it went against recovery, right?
And it would trigger me to go back to you.
And then when he would go back out there using, he didn't care.
Yeah. So the question, when she said, where do you have to go and what do you have to do for your purpose to be reached? To reach your purpose, you must ask yourself 3 questions. One of them is, what's your present situation? The upper one is, what's your desired destination? Somebody gets the third. Anybody?
No guesses.
First one is, what's my present, in order to reach your purpose, what's my present situation? What's my desired destination? What's the third one? What you say it again? The third one is, what do I got to do? This is my present situation. I was in the Salvation Army, right? I was in there. My desired destination was to create a program so I could go back into the places where I was and help the people who are in there and inspire them by first living a different life. But in between, I had to not go backwards. That was number 1. So now I had to create the curriculum or whatever your desired destination is. Your present situation does not knock your or void your purpose.
Right.
You got your purpose. It's not going anywhere. So what is your desired destination? I'm telling you that because while y'all here, you can be mapping all that out. What's my desired destination? It might not be creating curriculum for a program, but you gotta have some type of destination. What are you trying to do? What's the goal? What are we can't just be existing. We don't actually function good just waking up and having no plan. We don't function like that. Because when we wake up and we are addicted, actively using, I'm dead broke. I got a plan. I got a plan on how I'm going to get some money. I wake up, I'm dead sick. I'm sick. The guys that's around me, I'm like, I'm getting my clothes on because I have a plan. I'm going to go do whatever I had to do to get what I need. I'm not the only one in this room that woke up like that. We wake up like that on that side. is the same, you have the same ability on this side.
Yes.
You basically proved that you can do it by how you made it all these years. You survived all these years. And I'm not the only one in here who know people you probably was using with and they dead. They gone. Friends, man, like, Dad, my friends, I'm watching my friends, they gone. Page 23.
No matter what anyone says to you, or no matter how you look at it, the fact remains that you have a purpose for this world and you have a reason for living. Telling yourself that you have a purpose, even though your present situation may leave you feeling broken inside. However, this is a great place for you to begin.
Yeah.
Start by encouraging yourself. Stop waiting on others and tell yourself,
Everybody.
I have a purpose, I have a purpose, I have a purpose. You gotta say it.
Listen, you're gonna have to encourage yourself. Because there's going to be days where God gave me the gift of encouraging individuals. But my wife always said, like somebody might, when you have the gift to encourage others, they don't know when you need encouragement. They so used to you encouraging people that people will never call you, never check on you. They just assume you good. My wife will get on them sometimes and say, did you call him? Hey man, we ain't hear from your husband. And she said, did you call him? Like, did you ever think he might need encouragement? That's why I put it in the book, because I know personally that some days, if nobody don't encourage me, I have to encourage myself. That's why I put it in there over and over. I didn't put it in there because I want you to do it. I'm telling you I want you to do it, but I'm telling you that's what I do. And them 15 years removed from the last drug or alcohol, 15 years removed, have no thought about it. God been too good for me. Plus my luck has been so bad out there. I think as soon as I try, I might die there. But you still need to encourage yourself. Because the person next to you might not know you actually need it. So you gotta encourage yourself. You understand that, right? You're going to have to. Difficulties you might be facing in families. When I left, the last time I came home, I didn't have a job, right? And it felt, we always talk about it, or we was recently talking about it, it was my first anniversary. First anniversary. You know how I feel for a man not to give, I'm trying to do right. I don't have no job. It's our first anniversary. I got no money. I said, man, this ain't no good look for a guy. I said, man, I can't get my wife nothing for anybody. I got to make a card or something. So 6 o'clock in the morning, boom, 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 boom. I run to the door of my underwear. Yo, who in the world is banging on my door? I go to the door. A guy was there. He had 6 $50 bills. And he said, God woke me up and told me to bring you this money. I cried. I went in the room and said, we gonna get something for this anniversary. I'm telling y'all that is because we don't know about the supernatural move or the hand of God. I don't know how that happened. I know all that man said, he made me get up and come and be a blessing to you. But by that happening, it kept me on the path of not going back, because I keep thinking how I'm going to survive, when I'm going to get money from, what I'm going to do with this, what I'm going to do with that. And then when you have somebody else, my wife was working, but she didn't worry about if I was bringing it in. She knew, I forgot what method was. She was worrying about because I wasn't stealing it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You wasn't taking it out my pocket.
So so even though I didn't have a job, she was like, well, at least he ain't stealing my money no more. So she was okay until I got a job. So everybody see I have a purpose.
Right there, where he was saying how, as a man, how he started thinking in his head how it was feeling, right? So you gotta remember when you're taking that step to go on the right path, everything doesn't go the way you think. You're not gonna have it just like this. Like you said, he came home, he started working at the church, but he was just doing it for free. So he had no income. And sometimes as a man, you'll beat yourself up.
Yeah.
So pay attention to that. Because to me, I believe God did that to intervene, to let him know you're doing the right thing.
You do, yeah.
And also to direct his thoughts back towards him.
Yeah. Because I was in there, I'm telling you, it was my first anniversary and I'm trying to do right. I don't want to go back. I got that part locked, but I'm standing there. I can't buy nothing.
Yeah, because when he was out there, he always did give me stuff.
Yeah, I would hustle. I was a hustler in the street. I would hustle. When I was scared, I would hustle. But
I got all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
Jimmy stole it and pawned it off.
Yo, edit that.
But I got it.
That's true though. I snatched a pocketbook, y'all. Yo, that's true.
No. One Valentine's Day, I just got to tell.
Don't tell that.
One Valentine's Day, I put him out the house, so he wasn't in the house. But he came. I just got off.
I gave you a
work
call
like,
and money.
Listen, he did, but I put him out the house. Check this part out. Put him out. Now, he'd been out for about a week. But Valentine's Day, which was our first date ever, so it was always special to me, and he knew that. So Valentine's Day, he came with a card. And I opened the door, he was like, I just want to make sure I know it's Valentine's Day. I know you're going to let me in. Like, you're right. I take the card, I close the door, go in there. Go to my room, I open the card up, and I'm thinking, oh, it's so beautiful. And he put $50 in there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow. Yeah. I was like, wow, because I know what he was doing. I'm like, this guy really loves me. Because I know that was hard for somebody actively using to give me $50.
Yeah.
Right? So I was all happy. I put the card on the dresser and everything. Maybe an hour later, he's like, yo, I need that money. Get me out the house. I gotta get a room.
Yo, man. I need that 50 back, man. I had 150 when I gave you that 50. Now I'm broke. We get that 50 back.
I couldn't believe it.
Yes, it is. I think you gave it to me.
Oh, no, I did not. You take your card.
Man. Yo, but we telling you, reason why we share stuff like that, because at the worst of moments, your life, we want you to know that your darkest days, it's possible for it to change where it becomes a laughable moment. It was pain. I know.
That was pain at that time.
And I know we all have different stories and different things that you did, and you probably beat yourself down. I shouldn't have did that. But we just share stuff like that to let you know, to give you some hope about the possibilities of laughing at it one day. Because that's just how it was. It was a difficult situation, and that's why the program's called, everybody say, minor adjustments.
Minor adjustments.
We just made some minor adjustments, and towards the love and stuff you have for family, the loved ones, your children and all that, that's all real. That was just real. You was in relationships where it was a good relationship and you ain't do your part. That's all. That stuff was real. It's just that we had that thing that was in it. We need to just make some minor adjustments and continue to live our life. Amen? Amen. Everybody say, I have a purpose.
I have a purpose.
Let's look at page 24.
Okay.
The thought for the day says, success isn't always going to be a huge contract. You can be successful if you just live out your purpose in life. Allen Houston. Most people, this ain't in your book, I'm just telling you, most people don't live out their purpose because of pressure. But pressure produces what's in you. You ever heard the term pressure bust pipe? Mm-hmm. Right? When the pipes bust, the only thing actually come out is it was whatever it was in the pipe. It ain't like something new come out. Once it busts, it busts. But you got to understand, because a lot of us have been under pressure. The pressure that we have been under is going to actually bring out what's actually in you. Some things people will back down from. Certain things that happen to me, and my wife will see it on TV or something, and then it happened to them, and then it motivate them to be. We was watching a show, and a person's parent got killed when they was a kid. When the kid seen that his parents got killed by a burglary or something, he grew up and he said he wanted to be a prosecutor. He said, all his life, he said, instead of it destroying his mind, he says, I'm never letting somebody do that to other people's parents. So
They got off for killing his parents.
the guy got off for killing his parents, and the little boy witnessed it. So he says, instead of him going mentally crazy, he says, I know what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna make sure that a person, if they do that, they're gonna pay the penalty for what they did. So I'm saying that to say this: when you go through all the things you are going through, it's going to produce something. But if you focus on your purpose, you're going to produce what you have in you. But you got to get down to the core. Everybody say, my purpose is greater than my struggles. Say, my purpose is greater than my struggles. Matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all, whoever want a bracelet, that's what the bracelet says. If anybody want a bracelet, it says, I got it on too. It says, my purpose is greater. It's the title of one of my books. But if you want one of those bracelets, you can have one, okay? You're welcome. Let's go to page 29.
Surrender the key to victory. When two armies are at war and one of the armies wants to give up because they realize that they are defeated, they wave a white flag. Or when a boxer is taking a beating in the ring and the corner wants to stop the fight, they throw in the white towel. In this case, meaning your life, you are the one with the white flag or towel in your hand. More importantly, you, and only you, have the power to wave it or throw it, which is called surrendering, which is your key to victory.
So you control it. You control, I can't force you. Remember I said that we don't change people. We want to provoke you to say, man, you know what? It's like you get jealous. Like, you know, man, I know I can do it. Like, I want people to be like, man, I can do it. So but you got to surrender. It's like a tug of war. In my vision, what I had vision, and God gave me a vision, is a tug of war. He says, I'm trying to pull you to this life, but you keep holding on to that life. In order for you to go into what I have, you have to let that one go. That's your old life. You have to. When I say you have to let it go, I used to think that, well, if I don't do crack and heroin, I'm gonna just smoke me some weed and drink. Right? This was my system. Okay, God, I'm with you. I'm gonna leave crack and heroin alone, and we just gonna do the alcohol and the marijuana. So one day, I think our anniversary, we went to eat, and my wife always felt like, babe, I don't think you should drink. And I'm like, nah, that's good. As long as I don't do crack, I'm good. She said, I don't know, that might trigger something. I'm like, I can drink, I got it, I got this. So we go out to a restaurant, we out there. We order food, I ordered the drink, I'm waiting for the person to bring it. And then out of nowhere, my pastor and the first lady, right? And the elders from my church came in, and they sat down, hey, how y'all doing? We said, oh, yeah, it's our anniversary, this, that, and third. We enjoying ourselves. So we sat down, the waiter came over there and said something.
They paid you bill.
Yeah, they said.
I was like, oh.
They said, yo, well, you ain't got to pay. I said, why? They said, the pastor guy is paying for all your food and your bill. I said, I don't want the drink. Take the drink off the bill. Take the but look, I said, yo, take the drinks off. Take the drinks off. I said, yo, I don't want it. But it was like a sign. Y'all got to understand. It was a sign for me that that's not something, I don't know about you. I'm talking about for me, I have to let go of it all. I can't play with it because of the addictive personality that I have. If I just want to do, I'm going to just smoke. I'm going to just do this. That's not what I really like. It's just going to make me want to do what I actually enjoy. Y'all understand that?
Tell me why. My husband, we do a conference called Giant Pillar, right?
Yeah.
And he said, remember, your giants had
relatives.
So
yeah.
Smoking and drinking wasn't his drug of choice.
It was the relative
of
my giant.
It so, let him back to it.
Yeah. So I always tell people, your giant got a relative. Your giant has relatives. So crack and heroin was my giant. Alcohol and marijuana is his cousin. That's you gotta always remember. Everybody say my giant has relatives. Yeah.
And you know what happens
It's-
if you beat somebody relative.
And you know.
You know, they going to get
Right? Just think about it. That's good. When you beat, you know, everybody know. You beat somebody up, they relative gonna be like,
Now always watch your back.
they gonna try to get you back. That's the same, man. I can't.
Same thing.
We can't teach y'all like we giving them too much. Anybody getting helped ahead? Are y'all getting anything out of what we saying? I hope y'all we go all over. We go all over, and it's just a great experience. That's why we always say, I don't know about other people's programs and stuff, but when people be like, oh, we got another group, we be like, well, this different. Our group different. Like it ain't nothing, no other program like this one. We just try to get y'all real life application. More importantly, I think it's on page 5. Let me go back. Let me show you something. Page 5, if I can ever get to it. Everybody look at page 5, please. There's 3 words up top. Everybody, under the mission statement, what it say? Plus equals. The middle word is that's what you need. Application. We give you the information, or you get the information from different resources and everything, that's good. Destination, you're going to get to a destination. But if you don't apply what you're learning, you're going to end up to the destination that you're going to keep repeating. So everybody say information plus application equals destination. Yeah. It's the application part. Y'all all, listen to me. Y'all all know it. Y'all know right now when you went back or the last time you used or whatever, when you did it, what you shouldn't have done. If you got in the car where you went at, you could sit there and pinpoint and say, something told me don't go. And it all went downhill from there. It went, everybody, if you get down to the core and you're honest, I'm telling you from my own perspective, and it all went downhill from there, but you can pinpoint where you turn, if you would have stayed that whatever course, you would have been good. That's what we want to do. We want you to acknowledge it. That's the core. You get down, okay, I got it. That's why y'all got the books and the pens. Because we only gonna be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but y'all gonna be here after that, y'all. That's why we wanna make sure y'all have the book. So y'all can be, because y'all gonna, what some of our friends did, whatever you write in there, and you go back to it next year, you'll see how you grow. Because you'll say, I was thinking this way about this before, but now I can go in there and write something different because you have grown. And it's not about age. All right, let's go to
The definition of surrender.
Yeah.
To surrender means to give up, abandon, relinquish, or just let go.
Yeah.
Who or what has prevented you from surrendering?
That's a question. Somebody give me some answers. Since this is not your first time, if it is, make it your last. But since this is not your first time in some type of rehabilitation, incarceration, or whatever, what has prevented you from surrendering before? Because if you,
Myself.
Say it again?
Myself.
That's good. Anybody else? That's excellent.
My way of thinking.
Your way of thinking? Excellent.
My past.
Your past. That's why y'all got those books. Remember, y'all should write that something down. Who? Anybody else? What has prevented you? Because you here again. Even if you wasn't here before, you was in another program, but you in another program. So what's preventing you from surrendering?
My desires.
His desire. Yes, sir.
Insanity.
Insanity. Wow, that's a great one. That's like all of us right there. Anybody else? Because you didn't surrender last time, because you repeating it. You got to find out what's preventing you, thank you, Lord, what's preventing you from giving up, watch this word, one bad lifestyle for a better one. Why would I want, what's stopping me from saying, I don't want this bad lifestyle, I want a better lifestyle? You got to find out what's preventing you from doing it. I think my wife had mentioned it, being afraid to succeed. Like sometimes, yeah, good. Huh?
Fear of the unknown, the other side.
That's because we've been doing certain things for so long. I used to remember my wife, the first few times I got tried to get myself together, I wasn't thinking about getting high. So I started thinking about why I'm not thinking about getting high. And eventually I got high. Because I was afraid, like you said, I didn't know, it was unknown. Like, why am I not thinking about using when I wake up? Why am I thinking about going to get high? Why am I thinking about going to get high? Then I go get high. Because the fear of the unknown, you don't know what you're going to expect. But this is, everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But backwards. You have to get that part, right? Because what Brother D said, right? The unknown is that way. You're going to walk, I'm telling you, you're going to go that way. And you're going to be going into unknown for unfamiliar territory. But you got to lock in, well, I can't go that way. You got to have like an imaginary wall. Like, I can't go that way. So when the unknown is, remember, I ain't had no job. I ain't had no job. I ain't had no license. I ain't had nothing. I was walking. I would walk from at the church I was cleaning up to Reeves Road. I would walk home. After that, I got a bicycle. I got a bike. While I was riding my bike, I started studying for my driver's license. I got my driver's license back. Then after that, I started using her car. After I used her car, then I got my own car. But all that stuff, I just was focused. I'm not going this way. And the process, a lot of times we deviate from the course, the process that we have to go through. And you got to stay on course. You have to. What do you think about a person who gives up? What do you think about a person who gives up?
I never win.
Huh?
I never win.
When you give up, you feel like you never win? Is that what you think about a person? Now, we're thinking about, do you think giving up and surrendering are synonymous? Like, meaning that they're the same thing?
No.
Go ahead, sir.
Surrender is like on the cross in order for all of us to win.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was what he was saying. Surrender doesn't have to mean you got to win.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to win, you have to surrender.
And you win.
Yes.
Yeah. Because sometimes when you think about surrender, you think about losing. A lot of times you associate it with, well, I gave up or I lost. But don't mean you lost.
And sometimes you do. You lose small battles, but you lose those small battles to win the bigger ones.
Minor battle.
It goes back to your way of thinking. You know, if you think you're losing, you want to continue striving away to lose. You got to change the way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you're a loser and you ain't going to progress, guess what you're going to live a life.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the
the way of thinking, or to just progress over that boundary.
I remember this term when I first started walking in my new life or my purpose, right? I remember some people who said this, y'all they know what I'm saying. I gave up that life. And then they say, well, you became a square. You see? But I'm saying, if you're not focused, that will mentally mess with you. And you won't want to be associated with them calling you that. So you'll go back into, because they like, you gave up. Man, you became a square. And then you still see them constantly going back and forth to jail. And I said, man, I think I might have to take that. Because I'm not, but when you do that and you're not focused on it, where we grew up at, they see it as something different. But you gotta, and no matter, peer pressure is not about a person's age. Right? If you hear that, oh man, you became a square. It's funny because my little brother, I was on the phone with him not too long ago, and he started cracking up. He said, man, I remember them jokers used to be saying, teasing people who became a square. He said, man, I'm gonna be a square all day long. Because he's back in prison. He said, man, I don't know what that is, but that's what I want to. I'd rather be home than back in prison at 40-something years old. So,
John, you had something you wanted to say? I saw you here now.
I was just gonna say earlier when you stopped crying.
yeah. Surrender is the key to the victory. What is the hardest area? What is the hardest area for you to surrender or change? Just think change. What's the hardest area for somebody? What's the hardest area for you to go?
I'm afraid of boredom.
Wow, that's good. We're gonna teach about that. Boredom, you say, right? That's accurate. That's like up high. That's high. Anybody else? What's the hardest area for you to surrender?
Nobody?
All right. Change must be. This ain't in your book, but you probably can write it down. Change must be structured. Change must be structured. Old patterns get reinforced unless a new discipline is introduced to override the old pattern. So what I mean by that, change must be structured. We all are functioning, for the most part, off of our old patterns, right? We have these patterns, we've been functioning, we can close, I used to tell people, I'm born and raised in Atlantic City, New Jersey. I can go to Atlantic City and close my eyes based off my old patterns and get everything where I need to go get it. So old pattern, but the only way that you override those old patterns, you have to introduce your brain to something new. You have to do something, you have to find something. Me, I use my spiritual foundation. I poured my spiritual foundation into my old pattern and I flushed it out. I kept renewing my mind. Every day I find something to read. Every day I find something to pour into. You have to remember, you got the old pattern. If you just let the old pattern stay there, don't be shocked you keep resorting back to the same thing. You have to change that old pattern. It actually, I'm going to talk about it Sunday, but actually it hasn't benefited us anyway. It didn't really benefit. I'm not talking about we had kids and all that. No, that's not what I'm talking about, right? It hasn't benefited our lives for the most part. What's the hardest area for you to surrender? Why have you ever thought about surrendering? And does a part of you want to truly surrender? Anybody?
That's a good one. Do you?
Or, yeah. Do you want to? I remember I used to always call my sister when I would go to prison and be on the phone talking to her. And I'll never forget one day she said to me, she said, can I ask you a question? I was like, she said, it's kind of tough. I said, what? She said, I want to know, do you like it? I said, like what? She said, you always going to rehab and you're always going to jail. And I just wanted to know, do you actually like it? I said, wow, that's tough. When she asked me that, I never thought about it. She said, because you can't. You go in there, you do something, you go back. You come home, you do this, and you go back. She said, maybe you like that. I said, that's tough, man. Do a part of you truly want to surrender? Because y'all know, I'm not lying, even if you're not actively using, we are addicted to the lifestyle. The lifestyle of all that. That thing become, you be sober, you be clean. And that was one of my relapse triggers. Every time I would get myself together, I would say, babe, I'll be right back. Going to Atlantic City. Give me a cut. Get nice. Let them see how good I'm doing. Man, I never made it home. Because we keep thinking we're going to be able to help them. But if you think about it, you're not going to be able to help somebody. If you think, one of my mentors taught me, he said, if you put a person on the stage and you put a person down here and you told them, see who can pull who to where they are. If the person on stage, I need that person to pull this person up on the stage. And the person down, he said, just by gravity, the way the person down here, he can be smaller than the guy on the stage. He's coming down. Because he can put his feet on the wall. He can get so much leverage, and I don't care if the big guy's up there. You got to look at it the same way. you're not going to be able to help them at the early stage. It's called early stage of recovery. Later on, right? Even me, I won't go to certain areas, right? Unless I'm with somebody, right? I go to that area because we're helping somebody like that. But I wouldn't go to that area on my own. Because it's a proven fact. Before you can help them, therefore you can. You got to be right, have discernment.
So many good people that we encounter each day struggle with the ideal of surrendering. It is almost as if we had developed barriers around our hearts that keep the world at an emotional distance. Recognizing those stubborn obstacles that stand in your way signifies the first step toward a strong faith that you can indeed surrender.
Yeah.
One of the key obstacles to surrendering is pride.
Anybody agree with that? That's exactly. Listen to me. I told you we're going to say something that it's going to be tough. I don't know if you're going to receive it or not, but I know it to be true. The only reason I didn't want to give up that lifestyle, it was because of pride. Because I felt like another man was telling me, man, you don't got it. You need help. I don't need no help. I got it.
And I used to think that was so crazy. Because I would say, don't go here, you don't need to do that. Let me hold the money, you just got paid, let me just give you a couple dollars, but let me take the bet. Babe, don't go to Atlantic City. Let your kids come down here.
I got it.
I'm a grown man. Now mind you, he was grown man. I'm grown man. I don't need you to hold my money. I can go down here by myself. Blah, 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 blah. Right? Because he's grown. Pride. And it used to baffle me how you can be prideful on one side but not on the other, because when you're broke and you lose your job and you don't have nothing and your body's hurt because you need that next hit, and this joker tell you to go clean dog poop.
For a bath. Clean out my dog pit.
Or he stand there and call you all kind of names.
You
don't stand there and tell him how much of a man you are. You don't. You don't tell him I'm grown. You don't talk to me like that. You do whatever he said because you want that.
You want that, whatever.
And that used to baffle me. Well, why are you arguing with me and telling me how grown you are? Tell him.
Yeah. It's pride.
Pride.
The number one thing, it's pride. This is all of it. You can't you can't say, everybody say minor adjustment. You can't say you want another life and don't want to surrender a bad life. If it's a pride issue there, you have to address that yourself. You don't need another person, man or woman, to tell you. You just have to address it yourself. That I use the analogy of it's me versus me. The old me has to be introduced to the new me. So the new me got to tell the old me, we don't do that no more. It's me, it's you versus you. It's always you versus you. Because you have your old patterns, you've been doing this for so long. And we always, our pride will sometimes, or funny thing, my back was hurting the last few days, right? I'm like, you packed everything? Yeah, I packed everything. Man, who do you think you is? Right? I got everything. So I get here, I said, dang, I left my cream for my bag. I go in there, look in the bag. She put it in there. But pride, like, I got everything. I got it. You got everything? Yeah, I got everything. Well, why I gotta go get here, gotta go to the store, buy a belt? Pride, man, yo, sometimes I'm telling y'all, I'm not telling you, this is real life. I'm sitting here, I said, man, I gotta go buy a belt. Why we gotta buy a belt if you packed everything? Pride. But listen to this, let's read, watch this. It says one of the key obstacles to surrender is what? Everybody read. Everybody see it? 2031.
Middle of the page.
Everybody see where I'm at?
The middle of the page.
One of the key obstacles. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
One of the key obstacles to surrendering is what?
Pride.
All right. We may not all admit this, but all of us have this in abundance. However, there is good news. It is a known cure called
Humility.
It's a cure for pride. This is minor adjustment. The pride part has to be dealt with. Because remember, we talking about one life versus a new life. The other life was our bad life. We have to sum this up easy, simple. Everybody say simplify.
Simplify.
You have to simplify it. This is bad, this is good. We already know this is bad because if I do something in this life, I can possibly die. So everybody that's attached to me is going to be suffering and I'm going. Then we get so deep. Yeah, man, but everybody going to die. Stop. All that crap. Stop. We talking about this substance. We talking stop. Because we'll try to justify, but you don't have to die. Everybody got to die from something. Not crack and heroin, fentanyl. No, they don't. But we will do all that. Well, when I get around people like that, I simply walk away like, okay. Because you think you got it, and I'm trying to tell you that area is not going to work. Without doubt, it would take a humble person to surrender one bad lifestyle. I didn't know that was coming up for a better lifestyle. I didn't know, but what is I know it because I'm living it. It's just one lifestyle. You got a bad one here, better one there.
And you have to be humble enough to admit that this lifestyle isn't good for me.
It's not good.
And guess what? You can still be prideful because you can be pride in saying, I'm not going anywhere but backwards.
Yeah.
Be proud of that part. I don't
Yeah.
care what somebody else say, square, round, triangle, whatever.
I ain't going back.
Oh, you think you better than us?
Yeah.
Be proud to say, I'm not going back.
Yeah. Not what I will and not what I desire, but as you will and as you desire. Amen. The greatness of a man's power, that's one of my favorite quotes. I got a statue in my office by somebody. Win Booth. Anybody know who Win Booth is? That's sitting there in my office. Y'all know who Win Booth is? He said the greatness of a man's power is in the measure of his surrender. That means that you want to know how great a man or a woman could be, tell me what they're willing to give up. Because a lot of times people like to hold on to, bad lifestyle, a lot of people want to hold on to something. But he says the greatness of your power is in the measure of your surrender. What are you willing to, are you willing to give up something for this? That's why, if you notice, our strategy, a lot of people always ask us, wait a minute, y'all taught about purpose first, surrender second. Because a lot of times the strategy is teach them about surrender. But no, if I tell you you have a purpose, you're willing to surrender something if I tell you you got a purpose now. So it's easy for me to surrender something once I discover, wait a minute, you mean to tell me God gave me a reason for living? So now I have a reason for living. I literally go to the building every day, Monday through Friday. I go to a building that I went to go away to treatment, and I work in the same building. I get a kick out of looking myself up in the system. Like, oh man, I was terrible.
Yeah, you
But I'm saying that because that's a purpose. So it's easy for me to surrender something because we think about truth and facts. It's a fact, right? It's a fact that I was doing drugs and alcohol, right? But the truth is, I was really a drug counselor.
Y'all get that?
I'm a drug counselor now, right? That's the truth. It was always the truth. But I had drugs mixed up. I was thinking do drugs. He says, no, drug counselor. So it was a fact that I did drugs. But the truth of the matter is, I was really a drug counselor all along.
Y'all get that?
You got facts and you got truth.
They're not the same.
No, the facts is you might be sick, but the Bible says I'm healed. That's the truth. You got facts and you got truth. So no matter what somebody say about you, yeah, it's a fact that I did these things. Remember, my wife used to always say, she would bring up all the stuff that I did. Yeah, that was fact, but it's not the truth. I would tell her, literally tell her, after I smoke crack in the house, I will come out the basement and I will look her in her face and I will say, I will not always be addicted to these drugs. And she'd be like, I wish you'd hurry up. She never said it ain't true, it ain't the truth. She just was like, man, hurry up. Because it was, this over here was the better life. I had the bad lifestyle over here, and I had a better lifestyle over here. But the pride part of me wouldn't let me surrender that. Since I was 16, I was doing it. I stopped there when I was 38. So I'm not the only one here that have a long history of that. I'm just here to let you know it's not over. It's not over. It's time for you to make some minor adjustment. The first thing you gotta lock up in your head, the first thing you have to put in your soul is you can't go back. And everybody say anywhere, but back. That's the part you got, because I'm not going to sell you on. You're going to have a red carpet treatment. I'm telling you, it's going to be some difficult things that you might have to go through on this journey going that way. But as long, when you face with, the more we're going to talk about that topic, endurance, the more you face stuff this way, the easier it gets. When it comes, I'll be like, oh, I ain't worrying about that. I ain't worrying about that. I remember we was going through something and my mom, we had not lost the house, but we had to move out of the house and we moved into a trailer. And she was talking to my mother and she said, Mom, yeah, we in the trailer, we had to put all this stuff in the storage. And my mom said to her, I bet my son ain't worried about it. And she said, he sure ain't. I was good. I was living with this trailer that's like a mansion. I was just on the streets living. She said, I bet you my son not even worried about it. Because I knew how to endure. I knew how to survive. I'm telling you that because that's you. You did all that stuff out there and you endured and you survived because you have that capability of doing it. But what you're going to have to understand is that same tenacity is going to be needed on this journey going that way. Y'all gotta understand that. You're gonna need it because everything's not gonna go your way. But don't panic. Don't panic. Everything ain't go your way when we was out there on the streets. So I'm gonna give y'all some enemies to your sobriety. I need y'all to write these down too. I'm gonna give y'all 8 of them. 8 enemies of your sobriety. You call it out.
Well, Big John, here we go. Boredom.
Yeah, that's why I said, that's why when he said that, I said, I said, this guy been reading my notes. But that's why I tell y'all, everybody say, we know it.
We know
Yeah, I know y'all do. I'm telling you, y'all know. I'm telling y'all, I know y'all know it. So the first thing on here, these are enemies to your sobriety. The first one is boredom. That's the state of being weary and restless through lack of interest. Boredom is an enemy to your sobriety. Whenever you find yourself in a place where you're feeling bored, remember, he already said it. Remember, that's an enemy. That should alert you. You should be like, wait, I'm getting bored. That's trying to get you to go back to your old lifestyle. As soon as you feel like I'm bored, even if you utter the word or not. If you don't utter the word, it's okay. If you do say I'm bored, I'm telling you right now, that is an enemy. It's trying to get you, I don't know what when you find yourself in a place where you feel bored, that means you're actually about to walk into something that's good. Because it's trying to trick you. It's trying to get you to go, you're about to inherit something or get some type of encouragement or blessing, but it's trying to get you to go backwards. Everybody say anywhere.
Anywhere.
But backwards. So number 2.
Self-pity.
Self-pity. That is dwelling on one's own sorrows and misfortune. That's woe is me. Why this always happening to me? They don't give me no extra donuts at lunch. Why they always give me? Self-pity. When you can't find, that's an enemy of your sobriety, y'all. When you find yourself in that place where you constantly feel like self-pity, woe is me. I can't do nothing. Get out of there. That's not normal. You got everybody. What's the first 2 we gave y'all? All right, number 3.
Loneliness.
Loneliness. That's being without company. Loneliness. You lonely all the time. You gotta find time. I do time. Take time to meditate, read books, or we have a room in our house where there's nothing in there but flowers and pictures. But I'm not lonely. Loneliness. When you get in, when you find these are everything I'm telling y'all are enemies to your sobriety. It's trying to get you to go back. So it has to use every little trick. Boredom, self-pity, loneliness, and number 4.
Extreme happiness.
Extreme happiness. The guy across the street birthday come up now, you want to celebrate. You want to celebrate his party. You want to go out and party. You want to extreme happiness.
Overly happy.
It's overly happy. Nobody's happy all the time, man. All the time. Oh, I wouldn't even tell you I'm happy all the time. Nah, I ain't happy all the time.
Like that, you ready to go party? Pay attention.
You got, when you have extreme happiness, I'm not saying you're supposed to be sad, but I'm saying if you find yourself on this high, you got to remember that our brain, our addictive brain, functions off of those things. Go.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can identify with this, but like when I was in active addiction, before I even did the drink or the drug,
Yeah.
one of the biggest highs and worst I got was just going.
Going to get it.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anticipation.
The mountain down the road that I had to walk in. I came in a whole bunch of loops.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go for the coffee. That was a rough night.
Yeah, the anticipation.
That's, I mean, you probably not the only one I know I'm with you. I think all of us, that anticipation, like, shoot, that happened as soon as I get money in my pocket. As soon as I got money, I was like, yeah. Because you know you're about to get it. But that's good observation that you realize that this is why it's important. My wife mentioned it, and she didn't gloss over it, but I'm gonna bring it back up. Remember, she said, "Let me hold the money." Remember, y'all heard it when she said that. See, that's gonna take pride. That's a pride thing, because sometimes when you get that money, that thing triggers something. He said, "Man," so she said, "Let me hold the money." You know what I mean? And give you certain price. Because I remember one of my elders at the church, he said he couldn't hold money at all. His wife used to give him money, $2. He was like, "Man, I'm trying to make it." He couldn't have money. It would trigger him. It would trigger. So sometimes y'all gotta watch that, because the pride would tell you, "Man, I ain't letting nobody hold my money." But are you trying to, do you got a goal? If you're aiming for something and you really sincerely trying to, see, I was all in. I wasn't 80-20. I was 100% of, I'm tired of living like that. You ever get tired? Like you just like, man, I'm just tired of all that. I'm just tired. So you got to get there. Where I leave off at?
5. Disappointment.
Oh yeah, the state of emotions of being disappointed. Disappointment. Feel like everybody disappointing you. Everybody is disappointing you. These are enemies of your sobriety. If you ponder on that disappointment long enough, you will easily resort back to what you used to do. It's because that, remember, everybody say comfort zone. What we used to do, am I lying? That was our comfort zone. Like, okay, everything go wrong, all right, but get in my comfort zone. We deal with all that later. So when you get faced with disappointment, it's easy to say, all right, you know what, yeah, I'm disappointed, but if I get over here, I won't be disappointed. So you got to remember.
Just think, the prefix dis means to take away. So disappointment means to take away an appointment, right? Just reschedule it. Don't let it discourage you.
Yeah.
It's just not the time. So don't sit there and say, "Oh, it didn't happen. I didn't get the job. My girl didn't come back. My kid's not coming to see me. My sister not speaking to me." It can come later. Appointments can always be rescheduled. That's why they got an appointment book. So don't let the dis on appointment discourage you.
Yeah.
Take it off. Just reschedule.
So let's recap. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6.
Isolation.
Constantly isolate. Like when you see somebody in the program, right? And they constantly isolating themselves. If you're not in the group and you just go to them, you know, if you have a little rapport from, say, you know, hey, Mike, man, you all right, man? I'm used to you being this type of way. Boom, boom, boom. If a person, if they bite your head off, don't worry about it. At least you try. Right? Just, you know what I mean? But don't let nobody sit in isolation because you don't know what that man has just got some news. You don't know what's going on in their head. If you see him, just say, hey, man, you all right, man? You know?
And you don't sit in.
Yeah.
I remember
Isolation.
my husband told me one day, well, I was like, what is going on with you or whatever? And I asked him, like, he's always asking questions. How does it feel and all this stuff? But I remember saying, like, what makes you do it? And he said, babe, it's dangerous for me to be alone in my own head.
Dangerous for me to be in my own head, isolated. I ain't saying nothing to you. I grew out of that, right? I grew out of that because I used to isolate myself because it would, since we talking all men, it would make me feel less than to go to her and tell her I was feeling some type of way. One day I used some medication, right? The medication had me thinking, when I used the medication, I said, man, I need something to pick me up. The verbiage, the language, right? That type of language only was associated with my old life. I said, I need something to pick me up. So I called her. I said, yo, the medication I took made me feel like this. I didn't isolate it. Before I would just let it, don't say nothing. But I grew out of that. I said, yo, this medication that I took,
Medication from the doctor.
From the doctor, right? Prescribed medication made me feel like this, how I used to be. Look, she threw out everything. She said,
give me that.
Yo, I ain't say that medicine, all of it. Yo, see, but you see, I didn't isolate myself with the thought. It made me feel like I used to when I was using. And I said, nah. I told her, I said, babe, that medicine made me feel like this. Before, because of pride, as a man, I would have never done that. I would isolate it and don't say nothing. But since I told her, I came back, I said, where the medicine? She said, the medicine? You said,
It's not here.
you said that thing gotta go. Forget that doctor and that medicine.
And even on the doctor forms, when we go to the doctor now, and they say, do you have any allergies?
Yeah.
I put narcotic.
Yeah. I can't take it.
Allergic to all.
I'm allergic to narcotic. So you gotta understand, isolation will make you in your thoughts and personally, you sit yourself outside, always isolated, and you have thoughts. If you have thoughts, it doesn't make you. On one of the tests, when I was studying for my certified drug and alcohol counseling test, one of the tests was when a person is experiencing those things, you are supposed to let them know it's normal. So when you're having those thoughts about something like that, it says, let the client know that he's not crazy. It's normal. But you gotta tell somebody because we can't see in your head. So if you're having those thoughts and you have counselors, you have leaders and stuff all around this program, and you have guys that you look up to or fellowship with, you have to say something. It doesn't make you weak to say something. It's actually strong.
Yes.
Yeah, isolation. Number 7.
Tired.
I be going to programs and they be like, man, what y'all doing? Oh, man, I'm just laying around. I said, man, you ain't never sleep on the streets. Man, you'll go days without, now you in the program, man, we got another group. Man, you ain't do that on, am I lying? We ain't worried about no sleep on the streets, man.
Worry about nothing.
Sleep? I ain't missing no high. Sleep? They might get high around the corner. I'm not. But when you tired now, being tired is an enemy to your sobriety. He's trying to get you, don't go to that group. Don't listen to Michael and them. Don't listen to the majors. Don't listen to the people in authority around here. You tired. You go get you some rest. So as soon as you get out there, you got all this energy. They say you just had an energy drink. No, I ain't had nothing. Where does energy come from? Now you ain't in the program. Now you got all this energy.
Looking for something to do.
Looking for something to do, right? So when you get tired, I'm telling y'all something. When you're in the program, even at there, and you feel like you just tired, I'm not talking about you've been working and everything. You get tired sometimes. I'm not saying you're never gonna get tired. Y'all know what I mean. When you know you can go an extra mile, but you melding it in. That type of tired. You can go, huh? Yeah, you neglected it. You know you got it in you to do it, but you like, I'm tired. So tired, and the last one is
Intolerant.
unable and unwilling to endure. You intolerant. You can't put up with rules. You go against the rules. You can't put up with it. You think this is wrong, this is wrong. You know what I learned about rules? Let me tell y'all, since y'all break them a lot. But let me tell you. Listen, I was in a program, they had rules. They had this particular rule. Well, it was an all-male facility. And at night, even if it was 3 o'clock in the morning, we had to leave our room to go to the bathroom. I would get out of bed in my boxes and my tank top to run to the bathroom. But the rule is, if you have to go to the bathroom, even though it's an all-male facility, put on some pajama pants and a shirt. Don't go with tank top. Put a t-shirt on with a robe or something and go to the bathroom. Every night I would go to this bathroom and the monitor would be like, Mike, I got you. It's like, Dad, you see me? He write me up in the morning, I get it right up. Next night, I sneak to the bathroom. He get me again. Mike, I got you. So by the time I go to the panel, they had like a panel of the leaders, and they would address the sanctions you got all week. So they said, Mike, you got 5 write-ups for going to the bathroom. And I said, man, can I tell y'all what I think? They said, sure. I said, that's a stupid rule. It's a dumb rule. It's all men in here, no women here. It's 3 in the morning. It's a stupid rule. And they all went like this. They said, should we tell them? And I'm like, tell me what? They all said at the same time. They said, we know it's a stupid rule. We put it in place to see can you follow it. Because they said, Michael, the number 1 rule in addiction is don't pick up. But you keep breaking that number 1 rule just like you break that rule in this program. So I thought the rule was stupid, and they said it is a stupid rule. But the rule in addiction is if you don't pick up, you can't get high. And he said, and that's why you keep coming back to this program, because you keep breaking the rule. We think the program got these rules, they stupid, and why I'm not, but we keep breaking them, right? It just is, we think it's nothing. But I'm here to tell you, it's showing you your character and your integrity of what you keep doing when you leave. Because there's absolutely, positively, nobody in this program that's going to be in this program, break all the rules, leave the program, and start following. It ain't happening. So this is the place where you train yourself. Remember, we come from a different lifestyle. So now you have to challenge yourself. Watch this. I don't care if other 9 people are doing it. I was in the program and I said, I'm not doing it. Call me what you want. But more importantly, out of the 40 people I was in, it was only like 3 of us that made it. And they was the ones who was following those rules because those rules were teaching us about ourselves. I hope y'all understand that. So from now on, whatever rules you see around here that you keep breaking, you got to associate it with your addictive lifestyle. It's associated with it. And what happens is we make it seem like it's nothing, but really it's big. So let's go over those 8 again. First one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. We're going to stop right there.